Welcome everybody, welcome to EssentialPhoto, welcome to the photography show, welcome to Excel in London, thank you for coming down to London. So my name is Emma Finch, I'm a professional portrait photographer. We're very, very honoured today to have a man who's very busy, just back from the South Pacific. We've got Captain Cook today. You're very honoured. We're session days, so we run portrait workshops and lighting workshops in the studio and on location. We've been running for about 10 years now. We have used PiXAPRO from day one. The reason why we use PiXAPRO is because they're battery powered. There's no cables to trip over. They're very reliable. Batteries are great and just very easy and simple to use. So today we're going to be going through the PiXAPRO.
Yes. How much are they?
I haven't got there yet.
Oh,
Today we're going to be talking about fine art lighting. So we are not shooting for beauty. We are shooting for character. Going to be showing you really simple setups. One light setup, two light setups, things that you can do yourself, either in the studio, on location, or at home. So who is a portrait photographer here? Quite a few. Who uses studio lights? Quite a few. Okay. So we'll start really, really simple. For those of you that aren't portrait photographers or who aren't studio photographers, I'm going to just show you what this light does, and then we're going to put a modifier on it. I'm going to show you what the difference is. So today we are using AD200 Pro 2s, which is this. It goes into the onto the light stand like this. These are the upgraded version. These are brand new. How new are these ones? Yeah, these are brand new. The difference with these and the old ones is it's got the modeling lamp. So you can see roughly how the light is going to hit your subject. You can also, in an arena like this, it's not going to make much difference, but if you're in a darker room, you will see that modeling lamp. The other difference is it's got an upgraded battery, so you can get 500 full power flashes, so that battery life is fantastic, so you don't have to worry about running out of battery halfway through the shoot. And also the color temperature is really consistent, so that's really important if you are doing fashion or you're photographing artwork, something where the color is really important. You've got to keep that color consistency. So I'm just going to get my tethering ready. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to take a shot without a modifier. So for those of you that already do studio work, you're going to know what we're going to get. It's not going to be very nice. But I want to show the difference that a modifier makes. I think, well, it will be nice. Obviously it'll be nice, but not as nice as if we've got the modifier on. So I'm going to take a shot, just the bare bulb. This isn't how I would advise shooting, but if you do portrait work and you haven't got a modifier, please buy a modifier. The difference is huge in the quality of what you're going to get. So let's have a look. So, excuse the very wonky angle there, but basically we've got the bare bulb shooting right in his face. This isn't how I advise shooting. What we're going to do is put a modifier on. Make that light nice and soft. So the octaboxes are the modifier of choice for most professional photographers. This is a 120 centimeter octabox. The bigger the better when it comes to a softbox. The bigger it is, the softer the light's going to be, the better the light spread's going to be. Let me just take this grid off for a second. So all the lights are really easy to pop up like an umbrella. They come in carry cases, so if you're working on location, they're very easy to carry around with you. They come with these grids, so if you want to make the light moodier, you can put the grid on. So very easy to use, very portable, which is why we use them on all our events, because we can, whoops. stuck to the carpet, because we can carry them wherever we go. There's no sort of taking ages to collapse them down. So the reason why professional portrait photographers like an octabox particularly, the light will go in the back, it will bounce around the interior, and it will come through 2 layers of diffusion. And what that does is it really softens the light. It makes it really, oops. Yes, please. Thank you. It makes it a really flattering, soft light. It will really diffuse that light. The other reason why portrait photographers like an octabox is because of the catch lights in the eyes. You get that circular catch light in the eye. It's very natural because we're lit by the circle in the sky when we're outside. So it is a very pleasing catch light to have in the eye. What I'm going to do with the with the octabox, I want the bottom of the octabox roughly level with the bottom of his chin. Now, I'm feathering the light. So what that means is rather than it being pointed right at him, it's being pointed across him. So with an octabox, the light spreads. So even though it's sort of pointed over there, it comes out of the box like this. So he's going to get a really soft edge of the light, which is really flattering. He needs all the help he can get with the lights. What we're going to do, the first lighting setup that I'm going to show you is Rembrandt lighting. So Rembrandt used to paint with firelight, with the window light to his side. So it's a side light. It's very sort of warm and glowy, a little bit of contrast in there. And Rembrandt lighting is when you've got half the face lit and then you've got that little triangle of light on the other side. So hopefully we're going to get that. So straight ahead. So what I'm going to do, my settings, at the moment I'm on f8, ISO 100 and 160 on the speed. Because that's a little dark, what I'm going to do, there's a couple of things I could do. I could move this light closer. I'm not going to because it's already quite close to him. We could turn the power of the light up. Again, I'm not going to. It's on a quarter power, by the way. What I'm going to do is just change my aperture. So I'm on f8. I'm just going to brighten it up a little bit. It's in my hand. It's the easiest way to change the light. So I'm going to go to 7.1. We'll just brighten him up just a little bit. So that's a bit brighter. We're getting there. So you can see he's got that half light on his face. Straight. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're almost there. So we've got that half light, you've got some mood. This is the khaki backdrop, by the way, by PiXAPRO. Because we've got that light feathered, we're not seeing too much of it. I think on the actual photo you probably would see a little bit more of it because we're working with the TV screen today, which has got a bit more contrast than a raw image would have. But we don't want too much light on there. We want to keep it quite moody, quite sort of dramatic. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to very quickly show you the eyelighter. Now, the eyelighter you would use more for beauty portraits, more if you want to get a really flattering portrait of someone. So a lot of, I mean, we don't need it for you, obviously. A lot of sort of headshot photographers will use the eyelighter just because it will bounce some light back up into the face. So let me just pop this down. So you'll notice with this eyelighter, basically it's a reflector. It's curved because then it gives you that curved catchlight in the eye, which is very pleasing. It sort of echoes the sort of the shape of the eye naturally. And if we just put this below him, what it will do is it will fill in some of the shadows in the face. Because he's been at sea for a very long time, looking a little bit tired, it'll just fill in, you know, some of the character in the face. So what the light will basically bounce, and it will hit here, and it will bounce back up into his face. So you use it as a fill light, really. Again, these are collapsible. They come in a carry bag. We've got the silver reflector on there today, but you can also have gold. You can have white. There's various different diffusion that you can have, so you can have a different coloured fill light, depending on what you're doing and depending how you want to sort of match it up with your actual light. So let's just take another shot and see the difference compared to that one. So, do you see the difference there? Maybe if I go between the two, you'll be able to see. So that's the original. So if we have a look at the, I won't say eye bags, the area under the eyes. And then compared to that one, you can see how it does just fill in some of the shadows through the face. Really flattering on women particularly. I know that from first-hand experience. It fills in sort of dark eye sockets. It gives you the brighter eyes. It's a really good piece of kit. If you've only got one light, I would recommend also getting an eyelighter if you do portraits, because as I say, you can use it just to bounce that extra bit of light back up into the face. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a second light in, and sort of make it slightly more fine art. Put a little bit more light onto the background so we can see the background as well. So let me move this eyelighter, because actually I'd like to keep the mood and the grizzled nature of his face a little bit more. So let's pop that there. So this is 90 centimetre octabox. This is going to be our fill light. So our key light is this one. The key light is the light that's doing the most work. That's the light that is doing the most work to light Captain Cook. This is just going to fill in some of the shadows at the back, put a little bit of light onto the background. So usually the fill light would be at least half the power of the key light. So the key light's on a quarter. At the moment I've got this on an eighth, but we'll take a look and see what we think. So I'm going to put this up really nice and high, just behind him. I've got it closer to the backdrop as well, just because I want there to be a little bit of spill hitting the backdrop so we can see that sort of lovely brown texture in there. So let's see what we get. So basically using this as a fill light, using it a little bit as a hair light, also using it a little bit as a rim light down his back as well, just to fill in some shadows so he isn't blending too much with the background. Let's see what we get. If you face, about here to start with. So because he's facing more the key light now, we'll have a slightly more even light on his face now. So it'll be less shadowy. He's facing the key light. And then we've got the fill light in there behind as well. So let's have a look. If you're wondering why all my shots are very wonky, I can't see a thing through my camera. So I'm just pretending that I can see. So if it's all wonky and skew-whiff and there's half of the arena in, that's the reason why. So you can see now we've got a slightly more even light on his face. We're getting a hint of the texture in the background. You can see that there's a little bit of light through the hair now. Actually, Graham, if you go straight on like a proper side portrait, like a postage stamp. Okay. Shuffle maybe 2 inch towards me, just so you're on the edge of the light. Let's have a look at that. I'll pretend I can see what I'm doing, but I really can't. Okay, there we go. So that shows you what that fill light is doing. So it's putting a little bit of light down the back of his head, filling in a little bit of shadows. You're getting a little bit of the texture in the backdrop, but this is the key light. So the lightest part of the image really should be his face. There's an argument for saying the hair is catching the light too much. Let's maybe go down to a 16th and just see which one we prefer. So that was an 1/8. It's on a 16th now. So we've just turned down our fill light. Let's have a look at that one. Yeah, I think that's probably better. With portraits, the most important part of any portrait should be the face. It should be the eyes. The first thing you should look at is the face. You want it to always catch the eye. You don't want there to be anything else brighter in the image that pulls the eye away from the face. So I think just by turning down our fill light, it takes a little bit of light off the hair. You can still see the outline of the hair. You can still get that hair light, but really the brightest part is his face, which is what we want. So just to recap what we're using, this is the khaki PiXAPRO backdrop. This is a 120 centimeter octabox. The bigger the octabox, the softer the light is, but go with the size of the octabox that fits your space. Not every space will fit a huge octabox. My studio is not particularly big. I do actually use a 90 and a 120, but it's not a huge space. So go with the one that fits your space, basically. They're all battery powered. They all pack down, really small, and they come with a bag as well to carry them. The lights that we're using, AD200 Pro 2s. What we're going to do now is give you an opportunity to take a few shots yourself. We have some universal triggers that should work with all cameras. If you haven't done studio photography before, we might need to set up your camera a little bit for studio photography, but hopefully we can get you all just a couple of images each. We haven't got too long before the next person's on. Okay, let's get someone to trigger, and we will let you take some shots of your own.